So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We're really excited to have you all join us for this session titled Beyond GITEX Nigeria, See SolarWinds in Action, ITSM, DPA, and Observability Live Demo. Now, if you've attended GITEX Nigeria, or if you attended GITEX Nigeria, that was in September earlier last month, you probably remember how packed it was, the energy, the conversation, and all the quick boost up. But between all that buzz, we realized something that not everyone got the chance to really see what SolarWinds can do. So today's session is our chance to slow things down a little and walk you through the full experience. You'll get to see how the solutions actually work in real time. You get to ask your questions and understand how SolarWinds simplifies IT from end to end. So for those meeting me for the first time, my name is Queen Odili, a digital marketing associate here at Ha-Shem Limited. And if you're wondering who Ha-Shem Limited is, Ha-Shem Limited is an IT solutions company, and we have spent over 21 years and counting delivering customer-centered, results-driven technology solutions. So our focus has always been simple: to create a better IT experience for businesses and the people who run them. So that is why we are very proud to be a SolarWinds partner in Nigeria, helping businesses across the region strengthen their IT infrastructure, improve visibility, and work smarter with technology that truly fits their needs. That is your needs, your company needs. So here's what we are going to be doing today. We're going to walk through three powerful SolarWinds solutions that many of you saw or heard during GITEX Nigeria, but this time we are going to experience them in action. So first up, we have SolarWinds IT Service Management, that is the ITSM, which is also the SolarWinds Service Desk. Now, this isn't just another help desk tool, it's a cloud-based service management platform that is built for modern IT teams that are constantly dealing with rising workloads, remote users, and endless requests. So, what makes SolarWinds Service Desk stand out is how it uses AI and smart automation to take repetitive work off your plate. So, from ticket routing and approval workflows to chain management and asset tracking, it connects everything. It connects everything: incidents, problems, changes, and assets. That is all in one unified system. So it helps IT teams respond faster, reduce downtime, and deliver service experience users actually appreciate. For you, IT managers, that means you get more control and visibility. For agents, that's for the staffs, it means fewer manual steps. And for leadership, if you're in any leadership roles, it means real-time insight into performance, trends, and where efficiency can improve in your organization. So whether you're supporting 50 employees or more, even thousands, SolarWinds Service X helps you scale service delivery without burning out your team. That's SolarWinds ITSM. So going on to the next that we're going to be hearing about today, SolarWinds DPA, or as we call it fully, Database Performance Analyzer. It handles your service operation. So if ITSM handles your service operation, if ITSM handles your service operation, DPA is like the guardian to your databases. So it is, let's just say, it's the heartbeat of your business applications. We all know that when database slows down, everything else suffers. Report lags, app freezes, users complain. That's why DPA solved that by giving you this deep visibility into what's really happening inside your databases, whether you're on-prem or in cloud or you're going hybrid. So it identifies performances bottleneck in real time, shows you the root causes and not just symptoms. It even tells you which queries or weights are draining performance. So it's just like a support. It supports a wide range of database platform, whether SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, and more. It just makes it incredibly versatile for mixed environments. So for database admins and DevOps teams, that means you can optimize performance, reduce cost, and prevent issues before they disrupt critical system. And then there is SolarWinds Observability, the complete visibility layer. So just think of this as your organization's mission control center. In today's hybrid and multi-cloud environment, with the way businesses are moving and trying to scale, IT teams often struggle with blind spots. So data spread across different tools, dashboards, and vendors. So you want to see what's happening behind the scene. SolarWinds Observability changes that. It unifies data across your entire stack, from applications and databases to servers, network, and cloud resources, all in one intuitive platform. So with this, you can see performance issues before users feel them. You get to understand the dependencies across your system, and you can use AI-powered analytics to predict and prevent outages. So it's not just about monitoring anymore, it's about observing, analyzing, and acting intelligently with complete context. You get that context. So for CIOs and IT leaders, it's a game changer for you. It delivers clear visibility, faster troubleshooting, and data-driven decision making, all as I'm saying again, from one unified dashboard. So each one of these products, of these solutions, addresses a specific layer of IT, but together they form a very powerful ecosystem that keeps your business running smoothly. And by the end of today's session, you will see how all these three connect, giving IT teams full visibility, control, and efficiency across your operation. And today, sorry, yeah. So, and today, talking to us, I hope you can all see my screen. Just kindly let me know in the chat box. Yes, thank you very much, Trinil. So, and today, taking us through these product demos are three fantastic speakers who bring both deep technical knowledge and real-world experience. So, we have Sophia Ogochukwu. She's a cybersecurity professional who specializes in securing Microsoft Cloud and cloud-native environment. She's very passionate about automation, identity security, and helping organizations build confidence in cloud. Next, we have Amit from SolarWinds. He's a tech enthusiast with over 15 years of experience in IT. That is very, very amazing. And he has spent 3 years at SolarWinds. So he has helped enterprises transform their data platforms and harness the power of AI and cloud. And finally, we have Prenil, is the CTO at ATS Network Management, and ATS is the authorized distributor for SolarWinds in Africa. So, with over a decade of experience across networks, infrastructure, and monitoring, he has led large-scale IT projects for enterprises across the continent. So we are in very, very good hands today. To kick things off, we'll start with the first live demo, SolarWinds ITSM, where Sophia will take us and show us how AI and automation are redefining the way service desks operate. So Sophia, over to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Queen, for that wonderful introduction. So today we're going to be talking about SolarWinds Service Decks, and I'm going to be diving into the demo so that you can see how everything my colleague has spoke about the ITSM Service Decks solution. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Please let me know when you can see my screen. All right. So, like my colleague said, SolarWinds ITSM is a solution that helps you to respond, manage, and track business requests across your organization with better visibility and control. I believe we have IT professionals in the room right now, and I'm sure you already manage, multiple identities across applications and system, and you know how overwhelming this can be. But with SolarWinds ITSM solution, you can already integrate your existing identity providers like Active Directory, Okta, or Azure AD. So you can use your existing credentials like your username and password to sign in into the SolarWinds service desk. So I'm just going to show you how that works right now. So you can see right here, once you with the single sign-on, you can sign in. All right. Now we've signed in into our service desk portal, and this is where everything that we've spoken about takes place. Now we're going to start with, creating a ticket. I'm going to be showing you how to create a ticket now. So you click on your new tickets. Now let's say you're doing something on your network in your organization, and suddenly obviously the network is down, and a lot of requests, or people are trying to reach out to the IT team, to complain about how they're not able to sign in or something like that. Instead of calling or sending emails back and forth, you can actually come to your service desk portal and submit a ticket about what is happening. So let's say let's try to create a ticket. So once that is done, you can, click on the category that is causing the network issues or something, like maybe you implemented, let's say, a new solution like Sophos. I mean, if you've encountered Sophos in action, you definitely know how the networking sometimes can be lagging when you implement it sometimes. So once you click on that, and then you can choose your category, then your headquarters. If you have more than one sites, let's say you have sites in Lagos, in let's say Ogun State, or in Nigeria.
Hello? Sorry,
Hello.
Sophia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Someone said they cannot hear you, Mr. Ernest. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Am I audible
Mr.
now?
Ernest, can you hear me?
Hello.
Uh, yeah, I can hear you, Sophia, but he said they
Oh,
cannot
I
hear. Is
think.
there anybody else that was not able to hear Sophia? Please just kindly let me know so she can adjust her mic. I'm not. Mr. Ernest, can you hear me? Oh, wow.
I think it's.
Okay,
I
Sophia, you can
want to
continue,
be.
please. If there's anybody else that cannot hear Sophia, please let us know. Thank you very much.
All right. So thank you, Queen. I'm going to proceed with creating the ticket now. So whichever department the person is reporting from, you can just come here and click it if it's finance. So let's just, and then I'm going to create the ticket. Now, there's something in SolarWinds Service Desk that also deals with automation. Like my colleague said, every your repetitive tasks are automated. As you can see right here now, I created this ticket and it has been assigned to me. Let's say, for example, now Mide, who is the engineer who is supposed to work on this particular ticket, is not on seat. Maybe he's on leave or he stepped out. SolarWinds Service Desk has the capability of automatically rerouting that ticket to the next available agent, so that there's no delay in your response to your clients or to your employees. So let's see. As you can see, the ticket has been automatically reassigned to Isaiah. And maybe if Isaiah has not even responded to it, maybe in the next 5 minutes or 15 minutes, it's also going to be assigned to the next available agents. Then SolarWinds also deals with, also does not leave, it's not only about, automating tickets or something like that. It also includes things like, dynamic masking, which is, it puts security in the center of it all. Let's say we're trying to create a ticket, or we're trying to also, let's say, create a ticket, maybe something that has to do with um, your account details, which is a PII or a credit card information. And we know that those are information that cannot just be sitting around and anyone can see it in return. So I'm going to try to create a ticket, and you're going to see how SolarWinds Service Desk also puts security in place by maxing this data. So let's create a ticket. So now, once we create these tickets, we're going to see how SolarWinds also prioritize privacy and security. All right, now let's go to the admin portal and see how SolarWinds also prioritizes security. Let's wait for it to load up. While it's coming up, while that is coming up, I also want to show you how SolarWinds service desk also integrates with your existing collaboration tools like Teams, our Slack. So you can actually create a ticket from Teams directly. So once you integrate it with your Teams, you can create a ticket directly from your Teams, and it will automatically create an incident on your service portal. So let's try to create a ticket. All right, so let's create a ticket. So you choose who you need to, and then you can submit. And this will automatically create a ticket in your service portal. All right, so let's go back to let's submit the tickets. So we're just going to submit the tickets right now, and we'll see that it appears on your, yes, so we have successfully created a ticket directly from Teams. Now, not every ticket would come from the service portal or your Teams. Some people are also still very native to emails, and you can actually still create tickets from your email, directly from your email, and it automatically creates a ticket on your SolarWinds service portal. So let's try to see how that works. So we create a ticket. Once you get your support tickets, your IT support email, let's create a ticket. All right, and once you send this now, it will automatically create the ticket. As you can see, the ticket has been successfully created right here. So now let's go back to see the incidents that the data maxing feature I spoke about. This was the ticket I created that included. As you can see right now, this asterisk means that even your name, which is a PII, has been maxed, and your email address, your house address, your account number, everything is maxed. So only the engineer who is assigned to work on these tickets would be able to reveal it, to see the details of it. So that is how SolarWinds Service Desk also prioritizes your privacy and security. They will also have what we call service requests. Now, I believe we have HR people in the building, or maybe as an IT professional, there are times you do periodic purchase of services or hardware devices in your organization. Now, you instead of sending emails or trying to go and send a chat to ask on when is this going to be available, you can do that directly from your SolarWinds service portal. Let me show you how that works. So you just come here and say your service catalog. Now let's say your organization has decided to actually implement this SolarWinds service desk in your organization, and then you're looking at getting the software or the license for it. You can just come here and say, okay, now we have decided on that. As you can see, you can request to get the item. Just come here, you put in, and then you request for the service. You can also use that to also request for, let's say, like your HR professional, and you're trying to onboard. You need to create like the new hire profile, or request for their laptop setup. You can come here and actually do that. So you just come here, select your headquarters, put in the employee name, title, you fill up the rest of the information, and then you just automatically request for it, which makes it very easy for you to request for services. Also, SolarWinds Service Desk also has a feature we call problem management. This is actually my favorite, because working in IT as an IT professional, there are times where the people that you serve would obviously, fall into some kind of issues, and they are trying to like report it. Let's say, for example, you come into the office on a Monday morning, and the network is down, and everybody is trying to sign in into their Teams or something like that, or they're trying to access their OneDrive, and it's not going through, and everyone keeps creating tickets, trying to report the situation at hand. Now, as an IT professional or as the engineer, you can actually just once you get that ticket, you solve one of it. Since you've seen that the tickets are actually similar, you can just come to your service desk portal and solve one of the tickets, and then use that to automatically solve the remaining tickets and close the ticket. So I'm going to show you how that works, like I mentioned now. So once you solve that, you come here, let's say network issues, and you've identified it. You can come here and you've solved the issue. You can just come here and say, okay. So you can just say, okay, dear all, please note that the internet issue has been resolved, and then you post to all related incidents. Once you post to all related incidents, you come here and close it. And you can see it shows that you also want to close the remaining related tickets. So you view the related tickets, you select all of the tickets that are similar, and then you automatically close them, which makes everything faster for you as an IT professional. Now, SolarWinds Service Desk goes beyond just incidents. It also helps you with asset management. I'm going to show you that. So you can come here. Let's say you have onboarded your computers, your software license, whichever one, even your mobile devices, your network, also other devices. Like, let's say you're working in a construction company, and it's not just only computers and or laptops that you use. You obviously use some other devices, like a controller, or you're working in a hospital. You also have other equipment that you use. You can come here and register those devices. Now, so that means also, like I said, security is at the center of it. So for the services, you can actually see the risk that are associated to this, this asset that you have in Rita. For example, now, this is a this is a computer that has been onboarded into SolarWinds Service Desk, and we want to see the risks that are associated with this. You can just come here and say, okay, what are the risks? And the good thing about this is that you can actually create a ticket immediately to address the risks. You can see, for example, there's no antivirus on this machine. You can just come here and immediately create a ticket. Okay. So you can come here and create a ticket. Okay, it's still loading up. All right, while that is also coming up, we also have what is called change management. Now, I believe you know that when you want to implement change in an organization, it has to go through a structured process where those at the top will review before you can determine that, okay, is this a good change for our organization? Is this a good change for our business? Then you can also, once that has been reviewed, it can then be implemented. Now, SolarWinds Services gives you a very structured way to have that change implemented, from the review process to the test process to the implementation process. So I'm just going to show you that right now. All right. So right here, you can see that these are the changes that has been approved. There are some which are like draft. So maybe let's say you want to implement a server change. You can come here and request for the change. Once you request for the change, it's going to automatically move. So it creates, it's going to automatically move. All right. So I have successfully requested for this change, and all those who have been assigned to review this change would get, the notification and review them. And once that has been done, it's going to go directly to the changes that has been approved or those that are impending. Now we also have what we call benchmarking. Like I said, as a manager in your organization, you want to also understand how this software or that you've implemented is being used, how how it affects both your team and how they are responding to your tickets. So that will actually help you to make better decisions. All right. So once you come here right now, you're going to be able to see in real time. So let me show you. So you can see, you can use this to determine how fast the response rate to incidents, how the engineers that has been assigned to work on distance. Now you can use this to actually make decisions on how to improve your service delivery, as well as your internal team improvements. Right. So with that, I'm going to be showing you the SolarWinds service portal. I mean, for the SolarWinds mobile app, people like that work in the construction firm, or let's say they are into real estate, and it requires, your work requires you to be on site. And most times it's not always feasible to, take your laptop to, let's say, like a construction site, which can be very, which could be harmful. But with your phone, with you, you're able to like create tickets. You're also able to, respond to tickets if you're an engineer that is on site. So I'm going to be sharing my screen to show you a view of the SolarWinds Service Desk mobile app. So all right, so this is my phone right now, and I've downloaded the SolarWinds Service Desk mobile app. You can see right here, I can create a ticket directly from here. Okay, so you choose the category. And then you just come here and then you create your tickets. You can also use it to request for services. And also there's something we call knowledge base. So with the knowledge base, you can actually, as an engineer who has worked on various, incidents, you can upload a document that already solves this process, and your employees or your customers can be able to go there and look for the solution even before. Then if it's something that, okay, they know that these answers are not there, they can then escalate it into creating a ticket. All right. So this is it. You can request for a service. You can read up. Once you click on this, it's going to take you to the article. You can also request for a service from your mobile app. You can see them there. So I'm going to stop sharing. All right. And you can also be able to see all of this, where the tickets or the incidents are originating from. I'm going to show you that right now. Okay. Let's see why it's loading up. All right. Yes, as you can see where the tickets are originating from mobile, email, Teams. So with this, I've come to the end of my presentation, and I'm going to be handing over to my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. I really, really appreciate that. So, just to do a quick recap of what Sophia has taken us through in the Service Desk platform. So, we are taking through as I mentioned earlier, the Service Desk platform. We saw how to create and automate tickets. We also saw how it prioritizes your privacy and security. She also took us through the service request. We saw how you can use the Service Desk platform to place a request depending on the request you have. Also, she mentioned that it goes just beyond incidents. And after that, she took us through the asset management. That is one part of SolarWinds ITSM that lets you see and manage everything you own, where it is, and the condition it is in. So we also saw how change management works in the platform, amongst others. So please, if you have any question, kindly drop them in the chat box. Or if you want to just speak, you can wait till the end of the demo sessions to unmute and ask your questions. So thank you very much, Sophia, for that wonderful presentation. So next off, we have Amit is going to be taking us through SolarWinds DPA. I hope you're all ready. Thank you very much. Please let me see your chat let me see your chats, so I will know that you're all listening to me and you're engaged in this wonderful session, because we are having it because of you, not just because we want to just talk, but because we have something to show you. Can I just see your responses in the chat box as we move on to SolarWinds database? Thank you. That's SolarWinds DP. So Amit, over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And hi, everyone. I'm Amit. I'll be talking about the SolarWinds database observability. So under that, I'll try to cover what all tools we have in the database, and we'll talk about in deep about the DPA, and also try to explain you like how the DPA can help you to identify the expensive queries, or how you can leverage the SolarWinds AI, and also a DPA tuning advisory feature. So to start with, under database observability, we have two sort of modules, you can say. One is the database observability self-hosted, which we call it as a database self-hosted. So under that, we have two tools. One is DPA. DPA is the database performance analyzer. Database performance analyzer basically help you to monitor your databases and covering from on-prem to cloud, And it let you to monitor most of the relational databases, SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, whether it's on-prem or over the cloud. Over the cloud, it let you to cover the Azure, AWS, and GCP. Then we have the SolarWinds SQL Sentry. This is purely a Microsoft data platform, which let you to monitor the SQL Server environment only. And you can monitor it from on-prem to cloud and few of the analysis services as well. Then another tool which we have the database observability SaaS, which is basically a cloud-based database observability product, which let you to monitor the cloud native and the hybrid IT environment and let you to cover few of the NoSQL databases like the MongoDB and the Redis databases, whether it's on-prem or like in terms of MongoDB, whether you have the self-managed MongoDB or the MongoDB Atlas. Now, uh, now imagine like it's a month end. We are closing a financial service company and that there is a report that normally it takes 20 minutes, but suddenly the performance track 2 hours or more. Then the DBAs are getting paged and the DBAs are blaming like this is the query or the developers are blaming this is the issue at the database performance. But the business leaders are frustrated because the team throws the hardware at the problem, but the performance keep actually returning or the performance issue actually keep returning. So this is, I would say, a very common scenario when you have an issue from to the application side or the database side, but you are not able to identify the root cause of it. Why? Because the most people view the databases like this, where it's they says like the query coming as an input, then under the database, and data is coming as an output. So the query is coming into the database as an input and it gives us the data as an output. So when the people view the database like this, that leads to the blame game. So where from there it starts, uh, the DBAs actually blame the developers or the vendors like it's the issue at the code level, where the developers or the vendor reports or says this is at the database level or maybe the hardware level issue. So this is, I would say, a traditional monitoring tool shows you the symptoms, maybe the CPU, memory, but not exactly the root cause where the issue is. And that is where you can say unclear view of the performance that leads to the finger pointing to each other. Now, how DPA helps to view the database. So DPA, I would say, is a MRI for the databases, not just showing the patient is sick, but also help you to identify where and why. So the key differentiator for the DPA, it's a wait time based analysis. Instead of only showing the CPU or the IO issues or the IO uses, DPA also reveals what queries are waiting on, whether it's lock, IO, memory issues, or any other resources, giving you a precise root cause. So DPA focus on the end user response, which helps you to identify when the SQL request comes into the database and when it goes out from to the database. So what is happening during that time? You also be able to identify if there is a specific wait time is actually causing the performance issue. Now, just a quick overview about the DPA. So DPA has its set of features covering from the machine learning. So it has a learn to behaviors and the patterns which help you to identify if you have any sort of anomalies in the environment. Then you have the cross database platform support where you can monitor most of the relational databases. It gives you the expert tuning advisories, which helps you to actually fine tune your workload, tune your or implement the best practices at the table level, and also help you to implement and improve the indexes. Then you have the cloud support where you can monitor the Azure managed instances or the AWS RDS instances as well. Then you have the AI query assist is one of the feature where you can say you can actually rewrite the queries and also help the developers to optimize the queries as per the best practices. Then in the end, using all of these, that helps you to actually remove these silos where the DPAs are actually caught between the developers and the business users. So DPA let the developers see their code directly. And not only the developers, you can also share this or share the DPA dashboard to the other team members or across the organization with the with the architects or with the QAs, with the developers, or even with the management. So DPA doesn't just monitor the databases, it tells the story of the performance. So why the DBs slow down and who is actually impacted and what to fix. Now, just to highlight what's new in the DBA this year or in the last couple of release, one is we recently introduced the AI Query Assist feature for the DBA and SQL Sentry under the SolarWinds AI umbrella. Then we have the integration with the ServiceNow and the PagerDuty for alert notifications. And you have been actually simplified via the Platform Connect. Then we have the table tuning and the index advisories, which was previously only available for SQL Server and Oracle, but the same feature now is also introduced for the Postgres and MySQL as well. So I'll just quickly show you the demo, which helps you to understand what I'm talking about, and also which let you to see how these things can help you to resolve the issue. So this is the DPA dashboard. So as you may, or many of you already know, DPA is 100% browser-based tool. You will be having an own URL wherever you install. You can install the DPA on Windows and Linux environment, and you have to create the DPA repository databases. And the repository database can be created on SQL Server, Oracle, and the MySQL. So once you register your databases, you can see it monitor most of the relational databases, the DB2, SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, Postgres, Sybase, whether it's Amazon, Azure, as well as few instances running like the Postgres one. This one is running onto the GCP as well. So you have the full-fledged tool to monitor all of your databases at one place, and you can look into the dashboard from entirely your databases environment from here only. Now, just to cover one of the instance, like how you can actually look into the data or how you can identify the issues. So I'll try to cover a couple of scenarios. One is, let's say, as we talked about, there is a performance issue at the application level where the developers are reporting an issue and you wanted to see what is happening at the database end. So let's say if you know date and time, you can provide the custom date and time interval here. Let's say I'll just go with this, the default one. So I can see the queries which are hitting to the databases between this 1 hour time frame on 20th of October, and these are the queries which are hitting to the databases. Now this is sorted with the wait time, which is taking longer wait on top. And this is the specific query text or the query hash number. And right hand side, you can see the waiting on which particular wait type. Like this query is waiting for the CPU in memory. And second one is the write log. And the third top wait is the memory allocation extension. And if you wanted to understand what these means, you can click on this. It will provide you more information about it. You can further go to the respective links where you can identify which we are talking about. Or let's say I wanted to understand what the CPU in memory means. It helps me to understand, and as well as what are the standard or the best practices can be implemented to avoid the specific query spending more time in the memory or the CPU level. So it gives you the best practices or the solution from to the respective vendors. Now, let's say you don't know the date and time, but you know the issue was happening to the specific day. So you can go to the specific day and look into from that perspective. Even if you don't know, you just know the issue was happening in the past week. So DPA retains the 30 days data. So you can look into up to 30 days. And let's say there was high CPU or high memory utilization. I maybe wanted to look into, let's suppose, this one, which is I can see like 89 is the maximum here. So I wanted to look into this particular time frame, which is happening on 23rd of October at 1:29 a.m. So you can go back to the trends, 23rd of October, and it was 1:29 a.m. So this is this is PM. I'll go to the 1 to 2 a.m. So this is 1 hour time frame. You have an option for the slice the time and you get an option to change the interval to 1 minute. From here only, you can go to the specific 29 bar, or you can compare the resource metrics here as well. So we have already the instance CPU, which means the database level, and the sampling frequency is 1 minute. OS CPU capturing 1 minute. PLEs, memory related parameters, so you can look into any one of these. Let's say I wanted to explore at 145. I can see the CPU utilization is 92%. This is 44 bar. The next one is the 45 to 46. So if I click on this one, it gives me 45 to 46. You further have an option to switch the interval to 1 second. So DPA is capturing the session details each and every second. You can go to the exact 1 second time frame. So this is 45.0 to 45.01. And I have the set of queries which are hitting to the databases during that time frame. Now, let's say the issue is happening to the specific database. As of now, I just have one database, but let's say if I'll go to the broader time, issue was happening to the TPCS database, coming from specific program, specific machine, or the specific user, and happening with the specific weight type. I wanted to just check maybe, let's say the CPU and memory. And if I'll further go to the time slice, go to the 1 minute, and look into the specific time, let's say this one. So it keep on placing the filter on top of whatever changes you do and gives you the set of commands which actually qualify this filter. So you will be able to identify, okay, so these are the queries which are hitting to the databases during this 1 second time frame, hitting on this database, coming from this program, this machine, and this user. Then you can go to the specific query level and to see what is actually happening. So if I look into the SQL text, I can see it is trying to perform some sort of select count star, and you get to know about the supporting data hitting on which database, program, machine, and program. And if I'll come back to the intelligent analysis, you can actually have a look into the execution plan, like how the query is getting executed. You can look into the few information into the query advisor. It says the plan indicates there is a full table scan happening. We generally prefer to be on a seek side, not the scan. If you wanted to understand what it means, you can click on it. It helps you to understand what the scan means. So scan is generally costly operator. We prefer to be on a seek side to identify the specific records. Now, under the table tuning advisor, it sometimes gives you the index recommendation. So let's say if I'll go to the specific table and let's look into maybe recent data. So I can see there is one query which is having an index recommendation. So this is the SQL Server index recommendation, where you can identify this is the non-cluster DDL statement by implementing this at table level on the SCM element. You can see a projected impact of 98% in the query execution. So it highlights the index recommendations where you can actually implement and see how that particular query can be improved by implementing the index. Or if I'll go back to the query level, under the AI query assist, it helps you to actually, based upon the execution plan, it helps you to optimize it. And when you click on the view optimization, you can go to the side-by-side comparison. So this was the original text and where it was doing some sort of select star, and it gives you the optimized text with respective to the original query where you are executing and what you are actually trying to perform and what you are fetching it. It highlights the optimized text, which is basically a better version of the original text. And it also helps you to identify or also understand what has been changed and why it has been changed. So it says the index uses where the explain plan, it's highlighting you are doing this particular column, which is impacting the 98%. So it says by implementing this, you can see the query improvement. So it highlights overall information about that, like how this query will be this query is actually can be improved by implementing an index or by rewriting the specific command. So if I'll just show you maybe the previous example, let's say this one, where we were doing the select count star. And if I'll go to the AI query assist, it helped me to see we are doing select count star. And this query can be rewritten in a better way like this. And what changes it has done, if I'll go to the detailed explanation plan, it helped me to identify the join optimization. The existing query is having two left joins. We can see there is a one left join happening here and another is here. So that has been removed and converted into the one left join. And also there is a union all happening. So that also eliminated the union all. And it also removed the no log hint. So it has done the improvement at the query, which has been badly written, and what can be the, you can say a right way or optimized way to rewrite the same query, and which gives you the same result when you execute it at the database level. So you can take this as a recommendations to share it with the developers or the application team and help them to actually optimize the SQL text so they can test it in the lower environment. And if they feel this is something which is actually working better than the one which they have, so they can implement this and release it for the production as well. So this is one of the feature which we have recently introduced, that is the AI Query Assist. Now, if I come back quickly and just to cover one more thing, the tuning section. So tuning section is the tuning advisory, which helps you to improve the workload from to the index level. Like by implementing this non-cluster index, you can see these two queries can be improved and estimated saving of 2 hours, 38 minutes, which is 100%. And here you can save these 14% of this one. So it actually highlight the indexes which can be implemented based upon the workload on a daily basis. And you can improve that by implementing the set of indexes or the specific indexes in the environment. Under the query advisor, it actually highlights where the DPA has identified any sort of anomalies at the query level. Like you can see this one is highlighting yellow. Yellow means the warning, and sometimes it's also highlight red. Red is the critical. So where it says the plan indicates full table scan happening and the high execution happening at 12 a.m. and that is spending 99% time in the CPN memory. So it helps you to identify where the DPA is actually find it out if the query is having any sort of anomalies. And then you at the table advisor level, it helps you to actually identify the tables which has some scope of improvement or if there are any best practices missing. So if I look into the other table, it has 22 queries make it benefit from tuning, 5 index recommendations, 70 queries from benefit from tuning, 4 index recommendations. So if I'll go to the specific table level, you can see this is the line item table and these are the queries which are hitting to the line item. If I'll scroll down, it helped me to see these are the best practices which should be implemented at the table level, but only one is implemented and 3 are not implemented. So what it says, the table has indexes which are having the overlapping indexes. Foreign key is not indexed and the wide index is found or table does not have a primary key. So by overlapping indexes means there are at least two columns which are having the same, sorry, there are at least two indexes which are having the same columns. As we can see the ship date, ship mode, ship instruct. So these are the three columns which exist in both the indexes. But the DPA help you to identify which index actually is getting used by looking at the last used date and time. So this index is used 2 hours back, 2 minutes back, and this has not been used from 65 days. So that means this index is actually not using in the environment by any query or by any user. And this is something you can call it as the unused or unwanted indexes in the environment, which you are unnecessarily maintaining it. So let's suppose if you're doing any insert, update, delete in any of these three columns, that needs to be updated in each and every index wherever these columns exist. But if you're not using it, then you are unnecessarily spending time to update that, which you are no longer going to use it. So you can actually remove or disable the one which are not using in the environment and implement the one which can actually improve the workload. So by implementing this non-cluster index, you can see there are other three queries can also be improved. So this helps you to do the index optimization. And this is the table definition where it says the foreign key is not indexed or the table does not have a primary key. I would say this is a call of the database architecture or the application team where they can check whether they have missed these best practices to be implemented or they actually intentionally don't want to create a primary key on a table. because whenever you create a primary key on a table, that table is actually create a cluster index on it. As we can see, these are the non-cluster indexes. Sometimes developer wants a table does not have a primary key because that table they wanted to create as a heap table. So heap tables are generally good for the, you can say, a write workload or the read workload where you are doing a lot of our heavy reads and heavy writes operation. Okay, then just quickly to cover the alert section where you have the alerts covering from the three categories, the wait time, resources, and the admin. Or the custom wait time basically let you to create most of the waits. Let's say the total blocking wait. If there is a blocking happening more than 3 minutes or the 5 minutes, I wanted to get a notification. Or from the metrics perspective, if you wanted to create a disk related or memory, CPU, in SQL Server, you can create a TempDB related metrics. Let's say if the TempDB free space is less than 10%, I wanted to get a notification against that. So you can actually create an alert. And under the admin one, this is mostly related to the DBAs. You can say make the life easy for the DBAs where you can actually create the instance availability if the database instance goes down, or the database free space, table space free space, transaction log free space. In terms of Oracle, the long running transactions, percentage redo logs, or the session limit, or the stale statistics, SQL Server deadlocks, SQL Server job failures. So most of the templates which are already there for the MySQL, the oversized indexes or the table space free space, or you have MySQL or MariaDB duplicate indexes or redundant indexes, Postgres related the last vacuum. So most of the templates are already there, but if something is missing, you have an option to create the custom alert. So custom alert is something, let's say, I'll just show you a quick example. This is the custom one. You can define how frequently you want it to check. And in the custom one, you can bring your own script. You can paste the script here, and that script has an option to either execute on a monitor database, which means the databases you have chosen here. You can choose as many as you are monitoring using DPA, or you can actually execute to the repository database as well. And based upon the output of it, you can define the threshold, min, max on high, medium, low, and that will trigger an email, something like this, high, medium, low, or even the alert is broken. Once the alerts are created, you will be able to see the all active alerts highlighted here. And once these active alerts are triggered, you will be able to see under the current alert status. So this is the alert dashboard where you can see all the active alerts highlighting here. Let's say if I look into this is the high or medium related alert. So this is the high severity. If I'll go there, I have all the information about it. If someone from your team member is looking into the dashboard, they can get to know this is the high severity. They can work upon it. They can acknowledge it after working upon it. And if another person is looking into the same dashboard, they get to know like this has been acknowledged by John, so I don't have to rework on the same thing. So you can use this as the alert dashboard, or you can say a single pane of glass to monitor all the alerts or all the database environment alerts at one place. Okay, let's come back to the slides quickly. Is there anything else? No. I think that's it. So just a quick recap. We talked about the SolarWinds observability, what all databases we can monitor or what type of product which we have. We talked about how the DPA can help you to resolve the issues in the environment and how you can identify the expensive queries and how you can leverage the machine learning or the AI query assist feature to actually optimize the SQL text as well. And you can share that URL with the other team members, and you can actually authenticate the URL with the Active Directory or single sign-on, and you can even restrict the permissions to the individual instance level so that no other, let's say there are the multiple developers related to the specific application. So you can provide the developer A just an access to the A instance, not to the B. So they will not be able to view any information about the B instance. So you have the role-based permissions as well. Okay, any questions? That's it from my side today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Amit. That was a very, very clear demo of the DPA. Well done. Thank you very much. And he has already given you a recap. So please, let's just quickly move on to the next. As I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions you feel you can type, please do so. You can go ahead and type it in the chat box. If you feel, oh, you want to speak or and express yourself, you can wait at the end of the demos to ask your questions. Don't forget to write them down so you don't forget. So moving on, we are going to be taking the SolarWinds observability, and we have Prenil to take us through. Prenil, over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Queen. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining and making it thus far. We hope you're enjoying the demo, and thanks to Amit and Sophia as well. I'm going to jump straight into the demo, just conscious of time. So if everybody can see my screen. Okay, great stuff. So before I jump into the demo, I just want to go through the observability versions that are available. And having worked with, the SolarWinds solutions for over 15 years, I think this is probably one of the best times to be a SolarWinds customer, simply because, there is so much value in these two offerings available. Previously, we had individual products, so network performance monitoring, server application monitoring, IP address managing, but now they're all sort of rolled or bundled into a single solution. As you can see, the first package we have is the Essentials package, and that bundles a number of solutions into one. So we've got network performance monitoring, server and application monitoring, log analysis, IP address management, user device tracker. So this is it's a fully featured package. Over to the advanced, we've got some additional features, things like NetFlow, traffic analysis, virtualization management, as well as network and server configuration management. Okay, jumping into the demo. So this is the SolarWinds Observability self-hosted dashboard. As you can see, we've got a number of solutions built into it, depending on which package you go for. The menu will highlight these specific products. So typically we use a traffic light system in the observability solution, green being up, yellow being in a warning, red being in a down or critical state. We are also vendor agnostic, meaning we can monitor any IP-based device. We've got great support for, popular vendors like Cisco, Microsoft, Juniper, VMware, etc. And we use, multiple protocols to manage and monitor devices. The simplest one being ICMP, where we just able to, ping a device for uptime, response time, etc. For network kit, typically we use protocols like SNMP. For servers, we use WMI or agent-based polling. We support both Windows and Linux servers. Just looking at some of the platform features, as you can see, we have a mapping feature natively available in the platform. The map that you see here is sort of a WAN or global site. And I can see my, networks geographically located. If you hover over a certain region, you can see that there's some, showing as a critical icon here. You can either hover over it to get status, or you can click into a specific region. So drilling down into a specific region will, show you another map. And advantage here is that we, automatically map out the network in terms of, drawing connections in between your devices. We'll just give this a second to load. And yeah, I'm just going to open another map here. As you can see, we can overlay graphics. So we've got this cloud icon here. We automatically, map out the links between the cloud and your routers. And we can get information like IP address, response time, etc. So these links are automatically put on the map. If you're running things like CDP, LLDP, we're able to automatically draw the links, and you were able to see, utilization, transmit and receive. You'll be able to see errors and discards, as well as the bandwidth allocated to you. Another platform feature that we have is something called performance analysis, or perf stack. And what this allows you to do is to overlay metrics from any entity that you monitor in SolarWinds. So this particular example that you're looking at here is when errors and discards on a specific link. So we're able to, put this on a timeline. You can look at this over, let's say, the last 7 days. And you can also add more metrics to that. And I'm going to show you a quick example of how we can do that. So you would start off with a blank sort of slate, and then you can add an entity. I'm just going to use one of the NoSQLs as an example. So it's as simple as just adding the entity to your dashboard. Once you have it added, you click onto the device, and the middle palette will show metrics that are available to monitor. So you can pick and choose what's important to you. So I'm going to choose something like availability, and then perhaps average response time. And as you can see here, we can drag this onto different spaces of the perf stack graph. I'm going to put it into the same box here, so we can add a bit more metrics onto this palette. And then we've got an option to show anything related to the server. So the whole point of observability is to, show each layer of the network and all dependencies connected. So you're able to quickly, identify issues and pinpoint any problems. So if I click on this option, it should, go out and find everything related to this particular NoSQL server. We'll just give that a second to load. All right, so once that's done, you can see these are all the entities related to this particular NoSQL. As Amit was showing earlier on, if you are monitoring the database instance in DPA, you'll be able to pull these metrics onto SolarWinds. So whatever's important to you at this particular time, let's say you want to look at connections, sessions, you can drag this onto the perf stack graph, and you'll be able to see the session. So this is information from observability. This is information from DPA. We can look at things like blocked SQL statements. So if I drag this onto there, so now you've got a nice view of sessions, connections, as well as blocked sessions. So if we sort of drag over a specific time frame, right, the middle palette will show, wait times of specific queries. So this particular query is using 50% of the total wait time, and you can drill down in and look at the actual query, and then from here go to DPA and look at query analysis to improve queries. So as you can see, just with a few clicks, you can create a performance graph to assist with troubleshooting. Just jumping back to the dashboard. Another feature that we have in the platform to assist with troubleshooting is called AppStack. What AppStack does is correlate all the information through the different layers. So as you can see, this looks a bit like messy at the moment. It's showing every entity that you're monitoring in the platform. But in just a few clicks, I will show you, how simple it is to spotlight on certain issues. So for example, if you're having an issue with this particular MS SQL server, you can come into the AppStack view and simply click on it, right? What that does then is eliminate all the noise, and then you can spotlight on that particular application, and it will show you each of the layers that the application is operating on. So that would be the application level, MS SQL. It would be the database instance, which we are monitoring in DPA. It's sitting on this particular server, on this particular virtual host, on this virtual cluster, and so forth. So, I mean, just in this view, we can identify that the issue could be on the virtual cluster where memory is at 76. It could be on the host. But most likely it's to do with the application. And if you hover over that, we can see that there's some components in a critical state. So work files created per second is critical, as well as forwarded batch requests. So, just with a few clicks, you're able to do some, root cause analysis of slowdowns in your application. And this is a very powerful feature, all available to you, on the Essentials and Advanced package. The Advanced package obviously ties together the virtual layers, and I would say, yeah, that's where the power comes in on the Advanced side. Jumping back to the home screen, we've also got hardware health, so we can look at things like your fan power, disk, any errors, so you can click into critical nodes, and by simply clicking into the device, we've sort of neatly laid out any problems. So with just a few clicks, you'll be able to see that there's some hardware problems here. It's related specifically to the power supply, and there's an alarm triggered. Now, what you can do to sort of automate is open a ticket directly with your vendor when certain issues arise. So PSU in a critical state, you can open a ticket to automatically sort of replace that bit of hardware. Jumping back to the main screen, you can also see the service incidents. So any tickets that were created, we've got native support for ServiceNow, as well as SolarWinds Service Desk, which Sophia covered earlier. And any incidents, you'll be able to click directly into them to get more information, and it will take you directly to the ITSM Service Desk, which you can sort of update any ticket status or mark it as resolved. We've got bi-directional support with regards to tickets. So if a ticket is raised where a server goes down, if it comes back up, we will automatically close the ticket for you. And this helps tremendously with things like mean time to resolution, where you can draw reports with regards to that. Then we've also got features like, end of support devices, transactions, and these dashboards are all customizable. So if you've got multiple teams logging into SolarWinds, you can create a dashboard, specifically for those teams where they log in, they would only see servers, or they would only see network devices or maps, which are, suitable just for their teams. I want to touch on the dashboards as well. So the dashboards that you see here is more suited towards, your technical people, where there's a lot of granular detail. But we've got a feature called modern dashboards, and these are dashboards, more suited towards your executive level summaries. Management staff just want to see a high level of what's going on, not see any, granular details. And that's where modern dashboards comes in. We make use of KPI indicators, pie charts, line graphs, etc., to give you an overall view. So what you're seeing here is KPI widgets. This one is particularly looking at transmit and receive utilization on a particular MPLS circuit, and we can set thresholds on these. So if receive utilization exceeds a certain threshold, let's say it goes above 90, these KPI widgets can change color. So At a glance, you'll be able to see, the status of important metrics inside your network. This particular one is looking at remote connectivity, so number of VPN users connected to your network, average availability across the entire network. And then we also look at service desk incidents, right? So these are unassigned service desk incidents. We've got a widget showing server backups. You'll notice here that we have a feature called API polars. With this feature, we're able to pull metrics using an API. So we can just do an API call. It will return a specific value, and then we can put that onto a dashboard. With the latest feature, we've also introduced something called dark mode. This helps especially specifically for NOC environments where you want to sort of put this onto big screen, and I'll show you an example for that now. One of the other dashboards we've done is redesign the home screen. So if I just search for home here, you'll see the home summary overview is changed to modern dashboard. So similar to what we were looking at earlier on. We've got node status in these sort of KPI widgets, and we can click into them. So for example, if you want to look at anything in a notice, you can click into it and it will bring you to that. The dark mode I spoke about earlier on, you can just click on enter NOC view, and what that does is just take away all of the options on the top, so you've got a nice clean view for your NOC screens. If I enter NOC view, you can see that it'll automatically cycle between the different screens. So this is the dark mode that I was referring to earlier. It's built into all the new modern dashboards. Okay, we'll just jump back to the main screen. The next thing I wanted to touch on was NetPath. NetPath is a platform feature, and what this does is give us end-to-end visibility from source to destination. A lot of customers are making use of cloud services, and sometimes when there's an issue, you're not really sure if it's inside your network or if it's with your ISP or if it's with the vendor. So with NetPath, what we can do is, I'll show you an example using Office 365, using one of our data centers. If you click into that, you can think of NetPath like a trace route, a typical trace route, more of a visual trace route. And you can see that we're doing a hop-by-hop analysis. So typically this would be inside your network, then to your ISP's network, and then to the vendor network. So this path can get quite complex, and you can see if there's any problems along the path. So if I go back, I can see at this particular time slot, the path was critical. And if you click onto that, you should see exactly where that was. And at that particular time slot, we can see that there was, higher than normal latency on the Microsoft side. So with a tool like this, you can obviously keep your ISP honest or know if there's any issues inside your network. And obviously tying the different modules together, Network Configuration Manager is part of the Observability Advanced Suite. We'll be able to tell you, what caused connectivity loss. So this NetSuite example, if I click into it, we can see that at 11:49, everything was fine from source to destination. Users were able to access NetSuite. I'll just zoom in a bit there. But at 11:59, there was a loss of connectivity to NetSuite. And, looking at the path, we can see that there might have been some latency, but not because we have NCM, SolarWinds was able to identify that a config change actually caused loss of connectivity to NetSuite. And we have a side-by-side configuration of your startup and running. And if we keep scrolling, we can see that there was a root added to the configuration, which caused the loop. And that would be indicated on the net path there. So with the config manager, you can restore back to your last good known configuration. And once you do that, you observe the path and it should come back to a a connected state. So that's a really good example of how the products work well together to help remediate issues. One other thing I wanted to talk about, so we just got a few minutes left, is alerting, specifically anomaly-based alerting. And anomaly-based alerting uses machine learning to cut down on alert noise. Engineers usually get like a flood of alerts when, let's say, a CPU spikes, and that's where anomaly alerts comes in. It learns the patterns of your links, whether it's CPU, memory, disk. We've also integrated interface utilization into anomaly alerts with the latest release. And it learns based on the usage. So if a backup is running at a specific time and it spikes the line utilization, SolarWinds knows this is normal behavior and it wouldn't trigger an alert based on that particular spike. And this drastically cuts down on the alert noise. So meaning you're only getting alerts when there's actually a problem. Creating these alerts very simple. I'll just quickly walk you through that. If I click on add a new alert, we can just put in CPU. You can add a severity. We click on next, and then we choose the device. So let's say we want to put it on that Knox SQL we were looking at earlier on. You just click on next, and then we can choose CPU memory average. When to trigger is anomalous and greater than, let's say, 95%. And this is anomalous is important here. Then we can say condition must exist for 10 minutes or more. And then we create that. And it's just 3 steps to create this, and this will drastically cut down on the alert noise. One other thing I wanted to look at just for management decisions and is your capacity summary. So we can use the platform to help us with things like capacity planning. So things like CPU memory, interface capacity problems. This dashboard identifies certain devices which are at capacity, warning, critical, at capacity now. So ideally you would want this dashboard to have as little information as possible to know your devices are running at peak capability. Queen, we've got 2 minutes left. I'm not sure if you want to wrap up.
Yes.
Apologies for going over time there.
No problem. Well done. Thank you very much, Prenil. Thank you for this demo. Thank you for being so clear. So just to give a quick recap on what Prenil has took us through, it just dive straight to the demo, taking us through the dashboard where we saw the performance analyzer. It took us through the analysis and metric part of observability where we see each layer of the networks and the dependencies and relations of the SQL. Also, we saw the chat information from observability and DPA, where we can also create a performance graph to assist in troubleshooting. He also showed us with a few clicks how you can spotlight issues, eliminating the noise and showing you what you want and need to see. Also, we saw where we can see the service incidents where you can click to get more information and you are redirected to the service desk platform to handle those incidents. The dashboards are all, and you also mentioned that dashboards are all customizable, both based on roles and access rights. So after taking us through the technical dashboard, it took us through the modern dashboard that gives the executive summary that is for something you can easily relate to and understand at a glance. You'll be able to see all of this data. And it mentions something concerning the network path services where we see end-to-end visibility. It mentioned it's like a visual trace through to all network from inside to vendor network. And not last but not least, it took us through the anomaly-based alerts where we learn the patterns and use it to better perform, where it learns patterns and use it to better perform, where you also have the alert fatigue noise, cutting it down to give only alert, like to give alerts when and where necessary. So all in all, we've seen how SolarWinds ITSM, SolarWinds DPA, and SolarWinds Observability work together to give us that infrastructure growth that we are looking for. Also,